I find this so wonderful. So while I'm doing a little bit things here, don't want to tell you exactly what it is, but you can see that I have also recovered some of these fence posts that we pulled. So while I'm doing this, those dogs, they have taken up a post here, and they kind of protect me of whatever might occur. Every time that there is a human voice somewhere from the distance to be heard, they give out a little bark. Of course, I'm not filming when it happens, but I can tell you. So that is something that I have noticed, and it concurs with other videos that you can find on the internet. Once you have a bunch of dogs, they will guard you, so that nothing happens. Whether it's a kid or an adult like me doing something, they like to be close. And that's the pack that looks out for each other. These guys might fight between each other for rank, but it's also a fight who is there to protect the human. So the big ones, Knut and Franz, they fight over the privilege to guard the house. Who sleeps in front of the front door? And lately they have come to a truce, and they both sleep there at 2 meters distance. And that is how that works. Because over there at the neighbor, there are sheep, and here and there someone might be over there or further away, but here and there is a voice. It's not the neighbor who's living there. They visit. It's a tenant, and probably one of the sons that who inherited that place from the father when he died. Well, there's also the mother, but the mother is also very old. And one of the sons had been here. I'm not sure what he's up to, but here and there you can hear a human voice from over there, and the dogs don't like it. And I guess the feeling is mutual, because those people don't like the dogs, because they bark. Yeah, they bark whenever something happens there. It's something to laugh about a little bit, because it has no reason for being like that. But these guys are doing their job, at least from my perspective. So I wanted to share this. Well, we did something today. We built ourselves a little greenhouse. It's not the most perfect construction, but it should do the job, because we have tomatoes on the inside, and it's getting a bit cold, and that should keep them a little bit warmer. Of course, it has ventilation, because there are imperfections like this one, but it should do. And the salad that's coming up here doesn't mind the cold, but the tomatoes won't ripen, and hopefully with that little invention, let me stick my hand in here, it is definitely a little bit warmer on the inside. Then this should help, so that we get a little bit of tomato harvest. If it rains, the rain will drain to the right. There is moisture coming in from here, so that should work out. And the dogs over there are having a conversation with Mr. Cat. And I have Checker here. She wants to play. I haven't been out for much, so they are all excited. Yeah, Checker. Yeah, genau. Yeah. Uncle also did a bit of cleanup here, so I removed this door. It's now sitting over there, and this is now almost ready for the installation. On Monday we will do this. of a mesh wall, to put it this way. So we will use this mesh that was there before and place it again and also make it taller. And then we use chicken wire in front of that to keep the birds out. And we can use a little bit of plastic to also keep the rain out. And that gives us dry storage on the inside, because it has been dry all the time. And it's a pity, like I mentioned, there was a wall here. And when the excavator removed the thing to the right, where I'm standing at the moment, yeah, this wall tumbled down. This will be demolished at some point. That's why we are not fixing it. We are just doing something to take advantage of this for dry storage and more shelving. We are moving a few things around, and there are some ideas how we want to have this whole area once we are building over there that workshop, and later there to the left, there where the sun is shining, the actual house. So this is now an effort to move a few things ahead without going overboard or building something that we later need to destroy again. And of course, all this work includes cleanup. So we have removed quite a bit of trash. There's a little bit more that we need to remove so that the trash will not find itself being buried between plants. This, by the way, here, this patio, has some concrete on the bottom. Of course, it is overgrown over the years. This happened, but you can see how this looks like. And this area is an issue. I am thinking how we can do this, but this is dependent on our plans for all of that. And so we need to go stepwise and slow, so that we do not spend time and money on things that we then will not use. But I'm telling you that here there are some things that we can do, and for the time being the idea is to get it organized but not heavily changed. So for example, these two fence posts there, and also that roll, we did this quickly when the volunteers arrived. The idea was to close this patio so that volunteers can be here without being bothered by these guys, because it's already closed. And it wasn't necessary. They all behaved well. But that was the idea. And maybe we pull them out again. There used to be a wall and also a door there, but it was all very fragile. So we'll see what we can be doing here over time. And what I should mention is the general philosophy is we don't want to tear down something just for tearing it down. It would not make any sense. And also we don't want to build something, spend money and time and effort without knowing what it's good for. So some things are better left alone for a while. And one example is the silo here. The previous owner invested into this. And the chute that you see there has an opening on the other side. And that shed was not a shed. It was supposed to become a pig shelter and a feeding area. And then he had difficulties with the neighbor and decided to sell it. So we have this, and this is a valuable thing. Of course, it is not so simple to move, but it can be moved. And I can tell you the current state of thinking. So this can be lifted once the bolts have been loosened, and then there on the other side, where the dog enclosure used to be, there we want to build something for pigs. And then this could be useful, could be very useful. Of course, we want to have it automated, but that automation is not such a big deal, because I can show you here on the inside how that works. So there, this thing can be automated. This is an opening, and then the grain that is inside comes out, and there is a version with a door that can be moved by an actuator, and then this whole thing is automated, an automated feeder with a very huge deposit. And we can build something like that once the time comes. So let's not destroy things ahead of time. And for the next few days, or maybe even longer, we will use the time, and we already started to do this while it was raining, to do some planning. We need to figure out where to put trenches and what to put into these trenches. And then we can actually start doing them. And you see, we still have quite a few plants left that we can use. Many of them are alive. Doesn't look like, but they are, because there's so much other stuff. And we will probably not be able to put all of them into the area that we already started to plant. This bag there gets filled with all the good compost that these plants and their root trainers set in. And the idea is to let this compost, and then it will be useful again. And speaking about this area here, so this area is going to be a really nice nursery. And this corner here is bookmarked to have a roof on it, where we can work in the shade, especially in the summer, and prepare pots and things like that for baby plants. And then we have an outdoor area like this. So basically an extension of what we already have, but a little bit nicer, and the irrigation then comes from the top. And then here in front of this there will be a driveway, and this driveway goes to the gate and the door that already exists. So as you can see, we have an idea what we want to do, and we just work through all the necessary steps one by one. And of course there are some restrictions that I keep mentioning. It's the money problem. But once the funding becomes available, and I'm not talking about 20 euros, so I am talking about 5-figure things, then you will see again a lot more activity, and suddenly there's a new building and a new pond and stuff like that. So this all will happen. And I'm walking here with this camera rolling to show you this. So here I threw out old seed that I found, and look, it germinated and it's growing grass. So this is very nice, unexpected. I thought it's better to let grow something here. Those rats, of course, are awful, and this is not how it's supposed to be. But what we want to do is, we want to put here some reinforcement so that we can drive over the grass without destroying it. It's a mesh thing. There is a plastic and a concrete variety. I still prefer the plastic version because it's invisible, while the concrete thing is always visible. So it should look like a lawn, but you can drive a heavy vehicle over it. So even a dump truck. And here and there we might have to drive over this with something heavy as a dump truck. And therefore So this should be a completely grass covered area, flat mostly, and the water should go that way, and then this, and I mentioned this there where the temporary house sits. Something else will show up in the future. Not going to tell you now what that might be, but there's a plan. And so this, for the time being, should grow whatever. It doesn't matter how it looks like, if there are rats or not. Once we drive over it, the rat will disappear and make another one. Currently we have the forks on our backhoe. Once we changed to the bucket, then we can drive over this once it's a little bit drier and make this flat. And also there in the center, probably 2 buckets of material is also missing. And then this area is prepared. The other thing is something that we can do at the earliest in spring. And by then I hope that the stuck up financing has been resolved. And it would be very nice to leap forward again.